Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Good morning, one and all. Already it is good afternoon. I should say good afternoon to one and all. And first of all, I thanks to KUG Oriental Academy, Mr. Umar Gurukul Sahab. And I request all audience to get up for 1 minute and clap your hand. This is to boost your mind. I know this is lunchtime. All are hungry, wanted to eagerly have the lunch, but still I'll take not more than half an hour. Please clap your hands once again. I request volunteers to call the outside audience. Let them come to hall, because what we are sharing here, we are sharing our practical knowledge here. That practical knowledge you don't get in any books. I request volunteers to call all audience who are standing outside. Please be seated. Thank you very much. My topic is infertility. Infertility, how to improve the fertility, how to treat the infertility with acupuncture, how to treat the outcome of pregnancy, and after pregnancy, how acupuncture works throughout the pregnancy, and after pregnancy, how acupuncture works throughout the labor. I hope all delegates outside, those who are standing outside, please come inside. Infertility affects 50% of couples worldwide. Conventional treatment are often invasive and stressful, but traditional therapy offers promising alternatives. Let me shortly brief you about the menstruation and fertilization. Menstruation, it is a process of coordinating activities of hypothalamus, anterior pituitary gland, ovaries, and these resulting in the formation of the uterine wall for the implantation of the fertilized ovum. I'm audible? Last one. And this hypothalamus release gonadotropin releasing hormones, which stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release FSH and LH hormones, and these hormones are essential for the ovulation and the formation of the endometrium. In male also, FSH helps in the production of sperm, and LH helps in the production of testosterone. Now let me brief you about the fertilization. Fertilization, it is a biological process where male and female gamete fuse to form a new diploid cell called zygote, and these zygotes contain completely genetic material. These zygotes contain completely genetic material present in the parents, both parents. And this zygotes, it undergoes multiple cell division. Otherwise I'll use this. Okay. This zygotes undergoes multiple cell division, from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16 and become marula, and marula become blastocytes, and these blastocytes travels from the fallopian tube to the uterine wall to implant on the endometrium, that is nothing but the inner layer of the uterus, and thus it implants on the endometrium. The pregnancy begins, marking of the pregnancy begins. Now, what is infertility? Infertility, unable to conceive after 1 or more year of regular sexual without any contraception, and repeated abortion having a single pregnancy also considered to be the infertility. And types of infertility: primary infertility, secondary infertility, and unexplained infertility. Primary infertility, no previous pregnancy at all, whereas secondary infertility, have one child but currently difficult to conceive. And unexplained infertility, there is no reason, cannot. Now, what are the causes of female infertility? As Dr. Mana explained about the genetic, one of the cause of female infertility is genetic. What these genetic disorders like Turner syndrome. In Turner syndrome, a female baby born with single X chromosome. In normal female baby, there will be 2 X chromosome, whereas in Turner syndrome, female baby born with 1 X chromosomes. This is genetic disorder. Next thing is age. After the 35 years, a woman does not produce a quality and quantity of egg. There may be anovulation. There may be irregular hormonal imbalance. Next is tubal blockage, tubular damage blockage of the fallopian tube. There may be blockage of fallopian tube due to previous ectopic pregnancy, due to PID, pelvic inflammatory disease like salpingitis, endometriosis, and due to tuberculosis of pelvic organ. Next cause of female infertility is uterine and cervical pathology like uterine fibroids, cervical polyps, and congenital malformation of the uterus, adenomyosis, endometriosis. Next thing is endocrine disorders. Endocrine disorders causes the irregular hormonal imbalance of the reproductive systems like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, hyperprolactinemia, and pituitary hypothalamus dysfunction. Due to stress, hypothalamus does not release the enough hormone which does not stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to release enough FSH and LH. And next main cause of female infertility is nowadays people are suffering, many ladies are suffering from the PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. Why this PCOD? What happened in the PCOD? In PCOD, women produce immature or partially mature follicles due to hormonal imbalance, and these partially matured follicles converted into the cyst, and then ovary release a large amount of androgen, that is male hormone. If ovary release the large amount of androgen, male hormone, there may be obesity, there may be hirsutism, that is growth of hairs on the face. Okay, and there may be obesity also, and this PCOD is due to main sedentary life and obesity. In PCOD you can find excess amount of fasting insulin and androgen amount, and the cause of PCOD, as I told you, the lifestyle and hormonal imbalance. Next is cause of infertility in men. It may be oligospermia, it may be asthenospermia, it may be erectile dysfunction, it may be hormonal imbalance, it may be lifestyle like excessive alcohol intake and excessive smoking, tobacco, and nowadays one of the main reason of men infertility is taking more UV rays, like keeping the laptop on the lap and continuously doing the work for more than 10 hours, 12 hours. What will happen here means there will be exposure to heat, excess of heat, and here Simon viability will till 34 degrees Fahrenheit. If it is more than 34, if a man exposes more than 34 degree Fahrenheit continuously, the semen viability and mortality will become decreased. So this is become the main reason of man infertility nowadays. Now coming to the investigation. For female, shortly I'll tell you, for female you have to do the pelvic examination to evaluate the uterus and ovaries and get the pelvic scan to see any fibroid in the uterus or any cyst in the ovaries. Then go for hormonal investigation like FSH, LH, prolactin, AMH, and thyroid profile, and go for HSG, hysterosalpingography, to find out the patency of fallopian tube. Now coming to the investigation of male infertility, do the hormonal treatment. Here again FSH, LH, and testosterone, thyroid profile, and AMH, and do the advanced semen to see the semen culture and semen DNA fragmentation, and do the vasography to see the condition of the vas reference, and see the scrotal Doppler or ultrasound to see the any block in the epididymis. Now coming to the therapeutic part. According to traditional Chinese medicine, 5 channels are responsible for the infertility. 5 channels are responsible for the infertility, that is liver, spleen, kidney, UB, and Ren meridian. Kidney is considered to be the foundation of reproductive energy. If there is deficiency or deficiency of blood in the kidney cause irregular menstruation, anovulation, and there will be low sperm production, and quantity and quality of sperm production will be reduced. And next is spleen. Spleen is responsible for regulating, for transportation of the nutrient and fluid throughout the body, including the reproductive organ. Liver is also responsible for the smooth flow of energy and blood to the reproductive organ. And Renmai tonifies it is on the anterior midline from the perineum to the lower lip, and it is responsible for tonify the reproductive energy. And main TCM principle is to tonify the chi and blood and clears the heat, dampness, and stagnation from the reproductive organ. Next, enhance the fertility. Next, improve the emotional and spiritual well-being. Now from here, way to treat, what points to be taken to treat the infertility. Here, as per my practical knowledge, the arteries and the nerves which innervates the reproductive organ, first treat that one. The arteries like ovarian artery supply bloods to ovaries, uterine artery supply bloods to uterus, and testicular artery supply bloods to testis, and vaginal artery supply bloods to vagina. And nerve, pudendal nerve, hypogastric nerve, and vagus nerve, testicular plexus, ovarian plexus, all this innervates the reproductive organ. As Professor Samyula told, you have to treat the dermatome on the S1, sacral 1, sacral 2, sacral 3. This innervates the reproductive organ, and this L1 thoracic 12, L1, L2 innervates the kidney. Kidney stores the essence, that is ovum and sperm. Along with that, you can use some TCM acupoints for treating the female infertility. That is REN2, REN3, REN6, and ST28, liver 3, liver 8, ST36. And let me tell you about when you have to use all these things. On the 6th day, 6th, 8th, 9th day of the menstrual cycle, you have to stimulate the cervical dermatome, that is C2, C3, C4. This activates the hypothalamus. When it activates the hypothalamus, it's release the gonadotropin releasing hormones, which stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release the FSH and LH, which is very important or crucial hormone for the ovulation and fertilization. That is to be treated on the 6th, 8th, 9th day. On 14th day, you have to do the hijama. That is the ovulation day. You have to do the hijama on these points. That is DU14, and as Professor Samyula told, T1, T2, T3, T4, that is treated for the vagus nerve, and vagus nerve regulates the hormones in the body. It regulates the hormones of the reproductive organ. And do hijama on the L1, L2, do hijama on the DU4. And anterior side, do hijama on the ST28, just about the upper border of the symphysis pubis. And in male, hijama can be done on the kahil, that is DU14, and the inferior angle of the scapula, then influential point of the blood, that is UB17. Next is on the DU14 or 1.5 tune lateral to the DU4, and on anterior surface ST28 and the upper border of the symphysis pubis. In male, all these points enhance the sperm production, enhance the sperm quality, enhance the sperm motility. It reduces the erectile function, it reduces the BPH, it reduces the nocturnal emission, it reduces the premature ejaculation. And in female, all these hijama points enhance the menstrual cycle, ovulation. It makes the endometrium thick for the implantation of the fertilized ovum, and it regulates the hormone in the body. Next, coming to the tongue points. 3 tongue points acts magical treatment for infertility. that is called infertility goddesses point, that is 11.06, 11.24 and 88.05, 88.06, 88.07. This 11.06 on the palmar aspect towards the ulnar surface, on the palmar aspect in the middle phalanx of the ring finger, as shown in the figure on the monitor. Here. This point works very good in infertility. This point enhances the fertility, it enhances the reproductive hormone, it corrects the irregular cycles, it corrects the ovulation. Next point is on the thumb, on dorsal surface. These 2 points on the thumb on dorsal surface towards the ulnar side, that is 11.24 and 2 points here. These 2 points are magical tongue points. You use these 2 points twice a week for 8 weeks, then take the scanning and see the difference between the previous scan and the present scan, current scan. This point is 11.24. And this is 11.06. These 2 points is more than enough to correct the infertility, to correct the menstrual irregularities of menstruation, to correct the hormonal imbalance. And the third point is 88.04, 88.05, 88.06. This 88.04 is 8 June proximal, 1 June medial to the center of the tip of the patella. That is on the, it's in the sides, that is on the thigh. This is very good point. As my clinical experience, this is very good point for the uterine prolapse and the uterine fibroid. Patient with a fibroid measuring about 5 into 6 centimeter, I have treated with this point, only with this point for 12 sittings. After 12 sittings, she doesn't have fibroid at all. These are the points: 88.4, 88.05. 88.05 is 2 June superior to 88.04, and 88.06 is 2 June superior to 88.05. Next is hijama. Hijama is very helpful in infertility, especially doing hijama on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. It regulates the hormonal balance, it regulates the menstrual cycles, it detoxifies the body, it takes out the all senile RBCs and radicals from the body and give way to regenerate. 5 minutes. As Dr. Professor Sir told about the nerves and artery, how to innovate, how to activate the nerves, that is dermatome, myotome, epitome and sclerotome. About IVF. In IVF, many IVF centers refers to our center before doing the embryo transfer for betterment of the endometrium thickness and for the betterment of the hormonal balance. And with IVF with acupuncture have great successful rate. Acupuncture for pregnancy. After pregnancy also you can do the acupuncture for pregnancy related problem like hypertension which cause the eclampsia, gestational diabetic, pelvic pain, nausea and vomiting like P6, and for hypertension H7, P6, again liver 3. And next thing is, next and last thing, can we play this video? 3 minutes video we have this. Can we play this? I think it is not coming. From phone we can play. During pregnancy, if you use the, during labor if you use the UB67, if you stimulate as showed, like thrusting, stimulating, in, out, and all, it releases the oxytocin hormone from the body. Naturally, it releases the oxytocin in the body, which is the crucial hormone for the progress of labor and uterine contraction. As per our experience, patient has come with 2 centimeter dilatation and 2 contraction in the 10 minutes. When I stimulated the UB67, she delivered within 3 hours. We cannot play that video, sir. Sir? Error. Which phone we can play? No, not YouTube video. It's WhatsApp. Okay. Can you see this lady? She has given her feedback, but unfortunately we are not getting the video. She is our patient. Her married life is 8 years. She have multiple problem, obesity. She is 101 kg, and she had irregular menstruation, like once in 3 months, and her endometrial thickness is almost 3 to 4 centimeters. 3 to 4 mm, and unable to conceive because of her egg quality is not that much good, like 1.1 into 1.2 mm egg quality. Her last egg quality is that much only. In spite of all system of medicine, allopathic and all, I don't want to mention, she went many hospital, but when she came to us, we treated her, we regularized her period first, and then we treated her for egg quality. Now she wanted to go for IUI or IVF. I told wait, another 2 months wait, we'll see. Because of her age, she is 32 years. Because of her age, she wants to go. I told wait, we'll wait. 3rd month, she conceived naturally. Now she is 12 weeks pregnant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your great informative session. Thank you so much. So next,